Hello gamers and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to talk about which agents are best suited to defend each area from the 1-1-2-1 default formation on Pearl. If you don't know what that is, I uploaded a very short 2-minute video explaining the 1-1-2-1 formation here, and you guys can check out the link below. Before explaining which agents are best at defending certain parts of the map, I want to let you guys know that any agent is viable in defending each part of the map. This recommendation is mostly dependent on an agent's potential as well as the level of difficulty to pull it off. For example, Reyna isn't a particularly strong defender, but if you're good enough to kill someone on a consistent basis, even when the enemy team is rushing you with multiple people, she can be a very powerful defender anywhere. But I wouldn't recommend her in this video as a defender because of how difficult it is to pull that off. Alright then, let's dive right in. When thinking about which agent should go where, it's helpful to consider the job each player has in each position of the map. For example, consider the job site-holding players have in this formation. The B-site defender is responsible for peeking a long pathway as well as being vulnerable to facing multiple enemies at once. This makes agents that can get out after initial contact extremely valuable like Chamber, Jett, and Yoru. Chamber and Yoru both have skill sets to push up quite aggressively to take on initial contact and teleport out safely, although it is a little riskier for Yoru due to the delay on his teleport animation. Jett can fill a similar role, although she can't push up as far as Chamber and Yoru if she wants to be able to retreat to safety with her dash. Agents that can get information without putting themselves at risk are also good at fulfilling the job necessary for a B-side defender, such as Cypher, Killjoy, or any initiators. Killjoy and Cypher both have default utilities in a turret and camera to be able to gather information without putting themselves at risk of contact. Additionally, they both can utilize their skills to not only slow down enemy pushes, but also gather even more information on enemy location should their default skills get broken. Initiators can do a great job gathering information on B main and ramps, but because they are better suited for defending mid in this formation, the 5 best agents to defend B site are Chamber, Cypher, Jett, Killjoy, and Yoru. Now, let's move on towards the A side. Since this formation assumes the defender won't push out, the A side defender needs to be able to slow down enemy pushes from the A main choke point. This means that agents with damage or movement hindering abilities are ideal for this job. There are many agents that are capable for such a job, but the best agents for locking down the A main choke point from site are Viper, Sage, Killjoy, and Cypher, while Raze, KO, and Phoenix are great alternatives especially if they can layer their skills with their teammates. Viper is extremely powerful in delaying enemy pushes from the main choke point because of her combination of Poison Orb that smokes off enemy team vision and her Snake Bite that weakens and damages anyone trying to run through. Sage can delay the enemy team pushing through A main choke point with her wall and slow orbs, buying a lot of time for allies to react accordingly. Killjoy and Cypher, similar to what they did on B side, are capable of gathering information as well as setting up traps within sight to really bother the enemy team. Raze, on the other hand, has great damage utilities which can be deadly if used in combination with a teammate's movement hindering abilities from near mid such as Ashes Suck, Breach's Stun, Phase Seize, Neon Stun, and etc. Phoenix and KO also have damage abilities like Raze, but they also can flash out from backside to blind enemies as they are pushing through the choke point. For those reasons, Viper, Sage, Killjoy, Cypher, Raze, KO, and Phoenix are the best agents to defend A side. Finally, let's talk about the best agents suited for defending the middle area of the map, which includes mid doors and art. While any agent can defend this particular part of the map, or any other part of the map for that matter, it is ideal for initiators and controllers, not Viper, to watch mid. I'm sure many of you who play controllers have experienced dying while trying to use your smoke skills. Thus, it is extremely helpful for controllers to play with a teammate so that they aren't vulnerable as they try to smoke. In this 1-1-2-1 formation, that is an art, as there should be a teammate watching art anytime the controller tries to smoke an area on the map. Moreover, initiators are great in the middle of the map on Pearl because they can use their skills to influence not just mid, but also the site that they're close to due to how Pearl is designed. In case you guys haven't noticed, Check out how Pro has these cracks in walls and an open sky that allows utilities to be thrown from near the middle of the map to pathways leading towards sites. While many agents can take advantage of this, it is easier for initiators due to the nature of their skill sets. For example, think about Sova's Dart, Fade's Orb, KO's Knife, and Sky's Flash. They all have great velocity to get over walls. Hence, their abilities can affect both mid and sites while providing your team with valuable information when they are playing from near the middle of the map. Breach is slightly different from other initiators in that he doesn't throw out his skills or reveal enemy locations, but he also has various spots from mid to affect large areas of the map. For example, he can stun the A main area from art or even flash them through wall. To put everything together, my favorite team comp on Pro is the No Duelist double controller team comp showcased by both EDG and Optic Gaming during Valorant Champions 2022. This team comp uses Chamber, Fade, KO, Asha, and Viper. For this team comp, as shown by EDG on the very first round of the map, Chamber can go B, Fade and KO mid with one of them helping Asha at art, and Viper defends A side. Unfortunately, however, we must take into account of how most of your solo queue games won't have multiple initiators or controllers. Instead, your team will probably have 2 duelists. So let's do some theory crafting and consider how your defense could look with the most popular agents on Pro according to Meta SRC from the ranks of Iron to Diamond. According to Meta SRC, the 4 most popular agents on Pro in the ranks between Iron and Diamond are Reyna, Chamber, Sage, and Jett, while the most popular controller is Viper with a pick rate of 6.7%. If this is your team composition, the default 1-1-2-1 formation is not an ideal style of defense, and your team should be looking to play a more aggressive style by pushing out and gaining ground. But for the purpose of this guide, let's discuss where each agent should go if your team plays passively, since pushing out strategically is rare in most solo queue games. The biggest problem with this team comp on defense is that the agents all overlap in where they ideally want to play defense, and no one is particularly strong at holding mid relative to their strengths. Sure, Viper, Sage, and Chamber all have great utilities for holding mid, but their skills are better used to hold sites because your opponents will more often come through A or B main rather than mid. On the other hand, Jett and Reyna both prefer to get initial contact and get out with their utilities, meaning they also prefer holding areas where the enemy team will come to. In other words, all 5 agents ideally want to be in areas that have first contact with the enemy on defense. But life isn't perfect, and when it gives you lemons, you just need to make lemonades. You'll really have ideal team comps for each map, and you will just have to learn to adapt. Hopefully my videos can help you guys do that. So where should each agent go? If you guys remember what I said earlier, the important trait for agents guarding mid is to have utilities that help your teammates on site without physically being there. That automatically makes it much better for Reyna and Viper than the other 3 agents to hold mid, because Reyna can use her leer through walls and Viper can set up her smokes before the round starts. Viper can also throw mollies from far away as she rotates, while Reyna might be able to find her most wanted situations in 1v1 duels versus lurkers by holding an area near mid. Although Viper isn't like other controllers in that she becomes vulnerable as she turns on her smokes, especially if she placed them beforehand, it's ideal for her to play near art in this scenario, as she will not only be able to easily throw out her mollies towards the A main choke point, but she can also pick up her orb before she rotates towards B side should the enemy team push towards B. This also makes Sage the ideal agent to play A side for the potential capability for your team to layer the Slow Orb with Sage and the Snakebite from Viper at the same time. If timed properly, this combo will get your team free kills and essentially win you guys the round. And of course, there's the Sage wall and her Slow Orbs, which does a great job in isolation, blocking off the A main choke point. Lastly, who watches B main between Jett and Chamber ultimately depends on who wants to use the operator, as this is a very strong weapon in defending B main. Although Jett mains might not want to hear this, it is better for Chamber to use the operator due to his ability to safely push out farther with his teleport. Moreover, Jet smokes are actually pretty good at holding mid doors because of how it covers the entire choke point, making it much more difficult for opponents to push through the area. You may be wondering at this point, why should anyone watch mid doors if you can easily play sentinel skills to watch the area, like Chamber's Trap? This is because it is much more difficult to stop enemy pushes from mid connectors if the enemy team already got through mid doors. You want to use the Chamber's Trap as an information tool that lets the player playing near mid doors to rotate without having to worry about being flanked, instead of a tool that stops the enemy push on its own, because it can't. This also makes Jet better suited for holding mid doors than Chamber because she's a more mobile agent compared to Chamber, who wants to stay as close to his rendezvous ports as much as possible. In short, for this popular solo queue team comp, Sage at A side, Viper and Reyna at Art, Jet holding mid doors, and Chamber defending B main is the ideal defensive position for the 1-1-2-1 default formation. That does it for this video on the best agents for the 1-1-2-1 formation. As always, thank you for watching this video, and if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe so that I can continue to provide you guys with more strategy guys. If you have any questions on Valorant, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Then until next time, see you gamers later.